Hey group, Dr. Ryder, this is Eddie Knight with my Module 2 on Liberal Arts College. Sort of using my token online undergraduate credit for this one as I am a graduate of UNC Asheville, which is UNC's designated liberal arts university. Some fun facts, it began in 1929 as a junior college, become Asheville Biltmore College in the 30s, and then UNC Asheville in '69. As stated, it's the only designated liberal arts college in the UNC system, and currently it has about 3,900 students with 36 majors and one graduate program in MLA. And as the stats over here show, it's predominantly white, so even though it's an eclectic place, it's also very homogeneous. The overview of the presentation, of course, is the physical, the aggregate, the organizational, and the social environments as it relates to UNCA. I'm going to try to integrate them together as much as I can. As far as the physical is concerned, it's a small and geographically restricted area. This is the whole college right here. This is the library. This is where all the learning occurs. You can pretty much put it almost in a quarter of UNCW. Geography is a size restrictor. They can't really build out, and they don't want to build up, as the book discussed. So it also kind of limits the number of students and keeps it small. It contributes to this sense of place that we have about it being a small, weird little liberal arts college inside of a small, weird little mountain town such as Asheville. And it's a pretty common phrase, keep Asheville weird. Here is the campus map of it, which is pretty much what I just showed you, just to show you the layout. Here's the library. All these buildings is where all learning takes place. This is for sports. This is where student center, where they eat, and the red is the dorms. You can pretty much cross anywhere within 10 minutes. It's very compact, and as the book would say, sociopedal. There's no way to avoid people. You're constantly running into people. So the pros of this is, everyone's forced to meet everyone. All spaces are social spaces, and no skateboards because of all the hills and stuff. It's just not practical, but in my opinion, it is a bonus. Physical environments, the cons, depending upon your personality type, everyone is forced to meet everyone. All spaces are social spaces. No skateboards. One last thing about the physical environments, not a lot of time, but as the students increased, it was 2,400 students when I graduated. It's due to the distant learning and online students program, which sort of has changed the demographics and has also changed the culture a little since I've been there. There's more off-campus classes now, which you see in the coffee shop classes, and nature is a classroom. A lot of classrooms take place on outdoors with UNCA's tilt toward their environmental and sustainability. And this is the observatory in Mount Pisgah, which is open to the public on appointment. The aggregate environment, this is Rocky the Bulldog. This is also Rocky the Bulldog. It's one of hundreds of traditions that whenever you're a freshman or whenever you graduate, when you first walk in, you rub the dog for good luck. In terms of aggregate culture, the UNCA's values, so therefore the students' values. It's liberal art. It's broad and theoretical. It's not a research school, so therefore it's more about theory and art than it is about vocation. Communistic, don't be afraid of that word. I just essentially mean that it focuses on the overall group rather than the individual. Yet somehow it manages to emphasize, individual artistic development. And as I stated, it's got a very ecumenical worldview to where it integrates sustainability into literally all its curriculum, not just as a option of a worldview, but as a civic responsibility. In my opinion, UNCA's size and location attracts a certain personality type. It attracts scholars, artists, activists, hedonists, and non-committal students. All these students will do well there. Personality types, it's more tilted toward business and science. They may find a home in the biology and physics program, and they would graduate and do well, but I don't think they would be happy. That's not the impression I get. UNCA's relationship in association with Asheville both creates and reinforces a regional, progressive, and campus culture. UNCA is Asheville, Asheville is UNCA. There's 60 plus clubs and organizations literally force everyone to be involved, which is a peer group influence. And UNCA offers a wide variety of opportunities, but yet within this narrow spectrum of, the liberal arts. Organizational environments, this is a group I was in. As student affairs professionals, understanding organizational environments is just as necessary, but yet it's the one that we all know the least about. I guess we figured that we'll learn it on the job, or is it a conspiracy? Do they not want us to know what's going on behind the closed doors? Is there a dictatorial power? No, I think that in reality, it's just really boring topic. I'm getting my money's worth out of this graphic that I've used for all my other videos, which essentially just show the spectrum between highly structured, highly centralized, and bureaucratic systems based upon stability and efficiency versus more anarchical, that open systems that have lower complexity, less stratification, and are more concerned with change. Like, I think that as far as the student mentality is concerned and the overall faculty, I think that there is a responsibility to make the world better and to make the world change. But I'm not going to be so redundant and naive to not suggest that it's always a little more in the middle than we would like to think. Things are never as extreme as we like to make them. And as far as UNCA's organization's concerned, it's one of 17 schools. It's a small school, and its department heads work for the provost deans and associate deans, who work and report to the chancellor. The chancellor works with multiple advisory groups. They report to the board of trustees, who administer and oversee policies given to them from the state level, where UNCA, like I said, is one small university out of 17 who are all under the administration of a president who works for the UNC Board of Governors, who report to the UNC Faculty Assembly, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So therefore, UNCA is tied up in bureaucracy. Its positions are absolutely stratified, competitive, and based upon power, and it follows strict rules and policies. So organizationally, there's no way that I'm going to try to push off some flowery, hippie, collegial, anarchical thing. But I will say that UNCA's values, based upon diversity, inclusion, innovation, and sustainability, is really impressed upon their students, who hold the faculty members responsible. When you see on the news, people do set-ins, people protest and go into chancellor's office and demand change, that's just a good Tuesday for UNCA students. They will not let the institution veer too far off of that course. So moving on to the social constructed environments, the perspectives of UNCA. It's a small public university. A lot of rich people probably are not going to send their kids there, but it's a good one. As you can see, it got number 7 National Public Liberal Arts University, number 2 in Making an Impact. Most people, morale is very, very high about being an attendant and being a student at UNCA. And I myself and my wife were almost embarrassed about how proud we are about, going to UNCA, which is part of that perspective, that outward perspective that we have of the college, and that perspective that we have when we're a student at the college. And again, I think it's all got to do with the size, and you almost kind of feel like you're part of some exclusive club, even though, it has an 80% acceptance rate. But still, I think the fact that it's not a particularly welcoming campus, and what I mean is that when you have to almost assimilate immediately into the tribe to start to receive the social benefits. But when you do, that also adds to the feeling of being part of it and being special. And to revisit the physical environments for a minute, it's highly inclusive though, even though it feels, I just said it's exclusive of LGBTQIA people from way back. It was a trendsetter, and it's just now recognizing that the rest of the nation's catching us. As I decided, it's a social pedal and highly aesthetic. It makes you feel like you're immersed in school. It makes you think about the academics and the art. And all this mix makes it, in conjunction with the mountains in Asheville, makes it very unusual and very, very distinctive. And cumulatively, this physical and aggregate concentration on progressivism and sustainability creates an unavoidable environmental press or shared philosophy of being proactive toward social change and making the world a better place. And this is not an ad campaign. The school means it when they say that, and the students believe it. They're not buying into anything. They are for real. In terms of the campus culture, this is the one area that liberal arts colleges shine. UNCA in particular. I don't personally know what it's like to attend a comprehensive or research university, but I do know what it's like to be on a liberal arts campus, to be reading history and philosophy, and everyone actually takes it serious. It's not just homework, because that's what liberal arts colleges do. They take scholarship in the arts and the soft science, and they make it serious. And as a liberal arts undergrad, I shared this reality and these truths and this philosophy with my classmates. And it was something that people outside of the college, even at other colleges, didn't value like we did, and they didn't understand. Like, in a way, doctors will be doctors, engineers will be engineers. They will all make more money than us, but we didn't care because we were culture's custodians and reformers. We talked about Sartre and Nietzsche for fun. We listened to avant-garde jazz and Godspeed You Black Emperor. And in our own way, we're just smarter and better than you. That last thing was a joke. Anyway, I look forward to watching your videos.